to change that.
Memphis Depay back out. Be interested to see what changes Lyon will make over the course of the remaining 45 minutes. They play on Sunday at home to Amiens in their relatively new stadium. They won't face Paris Saint-Germain until October and Monaco until December. They finished behind those two sides in Liga last season. It looks like we're almost ready to get the second half underway in West London. Chelsea get us back underway in their final International Champions Cup fixture of 2018. 1-1, lost one, both on penalties. Might we see penalties tonight? You can't help but wonder. They take on Lyon tonight. 0-0 at the moment, Pat Nevin.
Well, the thing is, they've got both teams have got a chance to bring good players on, attack-minded players on. And to be fair, I don't think they would actually like penalties in either team. They want to go and win the game, obviously, but they want to get this game finished. They want to get it done. They want to start prepping for the Premier League, the big ones coming up as well. So I think they're getting a chance. Maybe as the game progresses, last 15-20 minutes, Chelsea might see a couple of very big names coming on.
Yeah, the whole squad basically on the bench tonight for Chelsea. Bakayoko, bit of power from Bakayoko. We do need to see more from the former Monaco man. Here's Moses. Drink water.
The thing about Bakayoko, he was brought in as a replacement for Matic. For all you say, Matic has had a much better season last season, and at the moment he's not dominating that midfield, and that's the difference. Bakayoko has to learn to dominate that. He's to learn to use that power that he's got, and that physique, the pace, the ability.
That's another wayward ball from him, and the issue is, I mean, you can say, well, maybe it was because it was Liga, he looked at that level. No, in the Champions League he looked this level. He looked good enough to play for Chelsea to justify a £40 million transfer.
And there was periods right at the start when you could see he was doing very special things, and he looked like a monster. You know, he was really bestriding the pitch, making fabulous tackles, and nobody could stay with his pace. We haven't seen it tonight, have you? We've not seen it. And, you know, whether that's early in the season, you know, it may well just be that.
Moved out by Marcelo, the captain. Traoré squares up to Emerson. Oh, good ball. Mariano trying to race there ahead of the young goalkeeper Martin Bulka tonight, but it's swept up by the man in green.
You see, look at that move there. If you cut inside and you flick it between, that move basically can't be done against the back three. But it's Chelsea now play with a back two. And you watched that Aguero was finding himself in great positions at the weekend, doing exactly that ball, coming in from the right-hand side or left-hand side, and a back two is going to always, back two centre-backs is always going to find that hard. And we know from playing against it, I would be the one trying to slip that ball in. It's 100 times harder to do with the back three. The gaps aren't there, and they're not flat either.
Moses, well played. Zappacosta saw the challenge coming. I think he was anticipating the slide challenge and went down a touch easy.
Well, to be fair, I know that's pre-season attitude. And it's hard. That's a hard one for me to call there. I've seen that twice, and I can't tell you who the last touch there. So it's a hard one to call. But he wouldn't normally do that. He would normally go straight through up there. But he just doesn't want to get injured at the start of the season.
Chelsea tried to press, but Lyon have worked their way out from the back nicely. Although Padu's there again. And you can hear the crowd appreciating him right now.
I'll have to add on top of that N'Golo Kante's just walked out, so that may have something to do with it.
I see.
And by the way, it's not just the English fans that are applauding.
Willian into the middle, on at the back post.
The French fans down there are showing their appreciation to N'Golo Kante as well. And no wonder they are now legendary players. And you got to add ᴰᴜ Giroud onto that as well. These are legendary players in French history now. They are World Cup winners. You can never take that away from them.
All the way to the final. Kanté, a key man in the middle. Giroud leading the line, not scoring. There he is, the little man who has been a star in the Premier League since his arrival with Leicester.
Can I tell you something oddly? When you looked at the team in the season last season, and nobody really looked at Chelsea, you know, and even Hazard was up and down. But to be fair, absolutely to be fair, Kanté played as well last season as he did the season before, and he got Player of the Year. Now, I'm not saying he should have got Player of the Year last season, but he should have been up there in the top 5. He was astonishing last season in a team that was misfiring.
Falling foul of Chelsea's overall bad season, you sense then as well, and Kanté.
And that happens, you know. You'll notice the players that are playing with the top teams, the teams that are winning things. And he was covering for people all the time, but watching what he was doing, any team on the planet, and absolutely no exceptions, any team on the planet would take him.
I agree. He was linked with a move away from Chelsea this summer. Try and put a price on him as well.
It's unthinkable.
In this market, I have no idea. Abraham.
Better. Moses.
He knows Zappacosta's on the overlap, but I think Moses caught in two minds. One back by Bakayoko, that's better.
It's better. It's just that's an early season touch. That's nothing more than that. You know, legs aren't quite up where they should be, you know, and it's not that you're tired, but, you know, they're just not moving as fast. You have to almost think about what you're doing at this point in the season. See, that's better to Tammy Abraham. That's much better. He's made to run. The space is there. OK, the ball's zipped through. But if that's Cesc Fabregas playing that ball, Tammy Abraham's through one-on-one there. Get up. That's just, he's run straight into Amadou. And Amadou can't do anything about that. He's standing there.
He's just having a quick chat with ʟyīᴏ, who's not a small guy.
You've got to be pleased with that when you're a kid. He just runs into you and bounces off you. The other thing about, you look at the two centre-backs playing tonight, Christensen last season for Chelsea, when he played, particularly the first half of the season, was the player on the ball, bringing it out, looking like the classy passer. He's actually been used up to this point in time, right now. That's not to say that, you know, Andreas won't come back, and I think he's had a decent game tonight. He's been okay tonight. But it almost as if he's saying, well, OK, I'm happy to be second fiddle when the ball has to be passed around.
Just clipped off the heels of Moses. Attempt to ball through, and ʟyīᴏ, who had a glorious chance of Lyon in the first half, as the player to race through. Won by the Portuguese international Anthony Lopez, who was at the World Cup with Cristiano Ronaldo and co.
They've tried to be a wee bit more offensive in the second half. You look when they've not got the ball, Lyon have pushed a little bit further up. You know, the two wide players have pushed much further up, Traoré and Ntapay, and they're trying to get the ball in the final third, you know, not be, as you say, too tired. And here they are, they're getting it now.
Traoré uses that runner as a decoy. Wasn't the best of hits, though, from one of their top scorers last season.
They're just talking about it there. Instead of, in the first half, quite often Traoré was getting the ball, and he was getting it 25 yards inside his own half. But because they've adapted it a little bit and pushed that front three just a little bit further up, particularly the two wide players, when he gets the ball there, he runs with it for 20 yards, then he's on the 18-yard line. Simple little 10-yard, 20-yard changes like that actually are only made by the manager.
Bertrand Traoré, former Chelsea man, he left the club on a permanent deal last summer, scored 4 goals in 16 appearances for Chelsea. Occasional cameos. Willian.
You think about it over the last good number of years, how difficult it has been for Chelsea to pin down that right attacking wing position. They've always had a centre forward, they've always had Hazard in the left wing there, but getting the other one, Bakayok's giving it away again. He can't do that there.
Memphis options to his right here. Memphis Depay takes on Christensen. Bulka shuts it down, and Chelsea will come away with it. And they were fortunate there, especially Bakayoko. But now Zappacosta.
Williams and miles of space there. If only he could be spotted, and he wasn't.
Loftus-Cheek, lovely touch. Loftus-Cheek! It was an outstanding moment of individual play for the England international. But the post denies Chelsea the goal for 1-0.
And you know, you're looking at Ruben and you're saying, do you know what? Do that. Keep doing that. Don't do that once at the start of the first half and once at the start of the second half. Do it. You've got it in you. Don't run out of, you know, energy to be able to do that, willingness to be able to do that. Do it for 90 minutes and ask those questions. Because when he does that sort of stuff there, he's such a big, broad player. Up the other side there, I think keeper does quite well there. Keeps himself big as long as he can, look at.
Also saw Robert Green warming up at half-time.
Love to get a wee opportunity here.
Drink water.
I think that's what Chelsea want in that place where Drinkwater is, someone who gets the ball and passes it forward from there.
Moses. Zappacosta wants it. Abraham gets it. And it's a similar effort to his first half-headed chance.
Yeah, but nothing wrong with that one. He's got a player he has to beat, and he beats him. He gets above him, he's strong enough to do that. I mean, there's not a lot of pace in the ball, but there's enough on it. That's a good, clean, downward header. Now, he's not got it on target. But you give Tony Abraham balls like that regularly during the game, he will score you goals. There's not a shadow of a doubt, he will score you goals at any level.
Mariano. Chelsea fans just went berserk, by the way, because Eden Hazard started warming up. Here's Mariano. Memphis, no angle to shoot. Traoré tries to clip it into that far corner.
Yeah, they're quite infuriated. You can see the centre-backs shouting and bawling there. They need a little bit of help. See when the ball's played across here, someone has to get back into that D area. No one's going there, and neither the two defenders get close enough to him either, but that's the stretch you do when you've got a back four. You are going to be stretched. It is going to be difficult for you. And we are going to have a new midfielder in a minute.
Yeah, and it might be, you never know, Sarri's first choice midfield going into the season of Kante, Jorginho and Barkley. Certainly Jorginho and Kante, surely, once they're both fully up to match fitness. And Purdue again, Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. That's absolutely Tammy's fault there. He knows he's got that wrong. He started to make the run, and then he stopped thinking, I'm not going to get spotted here. And because he stopped, you don't stop. If you're centre forward, you take a chance. Because that, he's behind the player, and he's got a little bit frustrated. There's nothing much in that, to be fair. It's just stood on him undeliberately.
Still waiting to make these changes here.
Yeah, it's going to be an entire midfield. I think Watto will come off, Bakayoko will come off, and I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek will come off too. He'd have got his best little moment just before that, didn't he? And he was probably thinking maybe I'll get a little bit more of a chance now. But he's had his 58 minutes.
Listen to that, and certainly for that man, N'Golo Kante. Wes Barkley's on as well. He's had a lot of praise from Maurizio Sarri in the last 48 hours.
Now this is really interesting for Chelsea fans to see how they line up. And immediately they've went, I'm trying to say, is it Jorginho central, Kante slightly right, and on the left is Barkley, isn't it? So, you know, that's going to be the biggest decisions you're going to have to make at Chelsea this season. Who's going to be central? If you play a 4-3-3, does that mean that Kante's not a central figure and has to stay slightly wide? Because that doesn't suit him. Having said that, he'd done a little bit similar alongside Drinkwater when he was at Leicester, but getting that balance in the midfield is going to be the biggest decision that Sarri's going to have to make.
And we can see immediately that Jorginho is one of the best passers around, really, is the player who's centre of that three. Confirmation of those changes, by the way. I suppose for Maurizio Sarri, if you're trying to implement a new philosophy, if you bring one of your most influential players immediately to the club, that will help with Jorginho, despite the fact Pat on cue he gave the ball away.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a panic, actually. Jorginho, I think, will be slightly spooked by what happened at the weekend against Man City. Man City can do that to anyone. They really can do that to anyone, so he needs to get his head right again. But he has to develop a partnership with Kante in particular.
Who was just caught there by accident.
I like him even more. He didn't go down rolling about, screaming. Well done.
And that was lovely between Emerson and Jorginho. Barkley. Willian out on the left. Backs his chances, but Dubois has just kept that in. Will be a throw-in.
Done a good job there to keep that one in. Again, I'm keep on looking down at that midfield. I'm so intrigued by it. I mean, an increase in the pace there from Chelsea. If you've got 3 new players on there, livelier. If you're the opposition, it's still before the official start of the season. There will be some tired legs out there, and you just wonder if, you know, Leon's got to think about whether they give a little bit of help to their midfielders now, and they're up against well, quite an expensive midfield now.
They certainly are.
By the way, good to see that Willian, you're hammering towards the line there. It's a good 60 minutes he's had already in this game, and considering, you know, how little time he's had, he's looked good for that.
Back in by Moses. Clip forward up towards Mariano. Barkley. Well played, Willian. Still with Willian in the rain. Just beyond Jorginho. Unsurprisingly, Kante, I don't even know how he turned that one over. But it's him and Jorginho working together in midfield nicely there.
Yeah, but don't worry about not knowing. I have been watching him for a long time, every week now. I have no clue whatsoever how he does what he does. And I've never said that about any other player in my life.
Jorginho. Some changes coming for Lyon, we understand, but here come Chelsea. Emerson. Moses is there. Well worked away by Mendy. Hearing that Lyon may make a triple change on the way. Papachik Diop, central midfield players, one of those to strip off. He was linked with Tottenham last summer. First home appearance, really, as well for Jorginho. I'm reluctant to call games such as this proper debuts. Premier League very close. Here is Jorginho and Kante looking to combine.
They have definitely livened up, and I'm not surprised that they're going to make the changes because they're in trouble.
Oh, Kante is in! Oh, it's almost a rare goal for the midfielder, and that was Jorginho finding him in the penalty area.
Well, you asked a question just seconds ago. Will they be able to link up together? Maybe. That's quite exciting for Chelsea fans to see that. That's a great moment.
He doesn't score many. He got one last year in 48 games, N'Golo Kante. Moses. Willian. Oh, it's careless from Chelsea. Moses. Can he keep hold of it? He'll get the free kick in a good position.
To be honest, the short work for corner kick there was a good idea. Everything went right with it technically, except that last pass. So had he got that on that pass down the line there, they were in a great position. So even though it didn't work, actually, I don't think Sarri will be too disappointed with that. That was a good technically worked corner kick.
Three subs still waiting to come on for Lyon, but Bruno Genesio reluctant to make those changes while they're defending set pieces. Willian. Oh, that's a good-looking ball. Can it be kept in by Christensen? They'll put it behind for a throw-in, and that's better than a goal kick.
But you can't do any more than that as a ball in. If you're the wide player and you put it between them, the centre-backs and the goalkeeper, you do it with pace, you zip it in there, you've got every right to say, why are you not there? Because that's what your job is, to go and attack that space. And unfortunately for Chelsea, nobody did.
Okay, so Mariano is coming off here, the man who's been playing as the centre forward. He's got 21 goals last year. So here comes the change. Ndombele, very impressive so far tonight. Dubois, the right back off. Raphael, former of Manchester United, will come on to replace him, of course, in that position. Martin Terrier, more a winger. And Papachik Diop is a central midfield player. So I wonder if Memphis Depay may become the striker. We'll see how this pans out for Lyon.
Yeah. So plenty of changes been made. We knew this was going to happen at some point in time. Chelsea were a wee bit disappointed because they ran actually a very, very good run just now. This last 10-15 minutes or so.
Sir Raphael, who was a key player under Sir Alex Ferguson, is on. And he immediately trots out to the right-back position to take the throw-in. Made more than 100 appearances for Manchester United when he was there. On by Jorginho.
Against Chelsea, kind of controlling the play. Since they made those changes, and maybe just a few minutes before that as well, they've looked so much better.
Yeah, and Kante's playing quite advanced. Willian, some more changes on the way for Chelsea. Appeal for a penalty. Willian doesn't get it. Emerson, good chance here. Oh, and the cutback doesn't find anyone. Except Zappacosta, who will shoot from anywhere. The crowd liked the skill, but he couldn't get the shot away.
Do you know, this feels like a Sarri game now. Yeah. It's taken a wee while, but now this feels like a Sarri game. This is the way he plays. And another one of those big rows coming up any second now.
Barkley with a foul, but the changes are on the way here for Chelsea, and one of them is a World Cup winner. One of them was the best player of the World Cup. Eden Hazard, Olivier Giroud coming on, Lucas Piazon, the third substitute here. But listen to this for Eden Hazard's return to Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, and no surprise he's got that sort of welcome. Well, so for all the gloom and doom around Chelsea, I think you say a good point there. They've brought the World Cup winning centre forward, and as you say, the best player.
Not bad.
There are some decent players at the club still.
Giroud says he's staying to fight for his place. Signed from Arsenal, of course, back in January.
Delighted with that. I think he made a big difference last season. He was a focal point for Chelsea's attack, and even though he'll never be one of the big scorers, he's certainly a player that other players like playing with because he takes care of two people and makes spaces for others, and he's an intelligent mover with the ball.
Well dealt with by Christensen. Will be a Chelsea throw-in after all that.
Midst of all that, we've already talked about Lucas Piazon, who's been at the club for a long time. He's been out on loan, he's done all sorts of things. He is a very nice player, but you've got to be better than a very nice player to get a game for Chelsea. And I think Chelsea fans, if they had many chances to watch them, they'd enjoy watching them play.
Raphael, Traore. It's a really strong Chelsea team out there right now. Sarri couldn't help himself. He wanted to see Hazard, he wanted to see Giroud.
I suppose he wants to know what's ready for the weekend. He needs to know. And it ain't going to be easy. I mean, Chelsea are up at Huddersfield. I believe the second game's against Arsenal. So, it's, you know, it's not the hardest start it could have been, but it's also by some distance not the easiest start either.
Full pot that from Christensen to ᴖᴜⴟ. Chelsea, I mentioned there, away at Huddersfield on Saturday. Then they host Arsenal away at Newcastle, then Bournemouth at home for the 2018 FA Cup winners. ʟýᴏ. Raphael, Memphis Depay. Oh, and he has caught Ampadu. That was a bit of a wild effort to win the ball from Memphis Depay. It was unusual, and the youngster's hurt.
Yeah, he doesn't like bravery, does he? Ampadu either. He puts his head in there, he puts his body in there all the time. He's had so many blocks, but that's John Terry-ish of diving down there, and he's certainly got a dull one.
Well, Memphis Depay just looked amazed that he was even there at all.
No, Depay's done nothing wrong. Yeah. He's done not a thing wrong, Memphis Depay. There, no one's going over and complaining at him, saying anything. I mean, that's very, very low to put your head down. And but again, ʟýᴏ, I think he looks down there and, you know, what have I seen, what have I enjoyed, what have I learned, who's pushed himself up in the reckoning, who's fallen away. And the man on the ground getting to his feet has 100% pushed him miles up in the estimations of the manager.
Well, Rudiger's warming up. He's been told he has to leave the field of play. Defenders are coming on in Alonso, ʟýᴏ and Rudiger by the looks of things. So you wonder if Ampadu's game is coming to an end anyway. I think Gary Cahill might be getting ready. It might be a whole new back four here for Chelsea.
No, to be honest, that is an incredibly unusual way to make substitutions. Right, different front line, different midfield, different front line, different back line. Keeper's standing there worried sick.
That's the back four. It might be Chelsea's first choice back four. You never know. David Luiz started at the weekend in the Community Shield. He seemed to be excited by the prospect of playing in a back four again. Says he's won more trophies in that system. Yep. But very successful, especially that first season under Antonio Conte when he returned to the club.
I would suggest Chelsea with a back four and better make sure they're getting N'Golo Kante playing. You need somebody protecting them.
And Ampadu doesn't look too rattled by that challenge.
And of course, as usual with the changes, it has stopped the rhythm of the game a little bit. There's nothing you can do about that. It's just the way it happens. You've got a whole bunch of players that are trying to play themselves into the game. When Chelsea made the first three changes, it was, yeah, they kept it going, it looked lively. It got a little bit bitty again there.
Moved on by Terrier. Traoré, oh, he's released that early to good effect. ʟýᴏ. Traoré miscues it. He wants his goal, he's not getting it at the moment.
It didn't actually look as if he got his position sorted out there at all at any point. You've got to get a bad curl in that. He's went for pure power, and it's a long shot, and every man remains. And goalkeeper told you he was shaking his boots, he's off.
It's the end of the game for Martin Bulker. I'm sure the teenagers enjoyed this run out at Stamford Bridge. But Rob Green, who was a free transfer signing in the summer transfer window, the 38-year-old, said when he got the call about signing for Chelsea, it wasn't a very long conversation. So he's back out there, and Ampadu getting a nice reception as well as he makes way. Cahill, Rudiger, ʟýᴏ, and Alonso, very strong back four on for Chelsea now.
Well, that's one of the big things if you're a club. You need to make sure that the guys are used to playing with each other in this new system. And if you think about it, Chelsea had they thought had four centre-backs. Cahill, Rudiger, obviously David Luiz. And you're thinking to yourself, Rick Christensen as well. So there's four of them there. How many options does that give you? You know, how many different combinations? It turns out that's only 6 combinations. You add Ampadu to that, and then suddenly it's a whole bunch more. and he needs to get the best one very quickly.
Hazard. Still with Eden Hazard. Piazon. Clubs will have heard of Ampadu, no doubt, but I wonder if championship clubs, managers who may have seen this game tonight, will be putting in phone calls about loan deals to try and secure him.
Well, I'll tell you that story in a moment. I think there are much bigger clubs in the continent who are very keen on him already.
Interesting.
Who would love to have a player who can play like that from the back. So there is, I have heard there's some that would bite Chelsea's hand off right now. Oh, don't try and beat the Kante, you won't win. Nobody does.
No way through. Barkley. Chelsea get the free kick, so we've got 15 minutes to go here. And let's see if someone can win this game in 90 minutes.
Well, it's just funny to see that, you know, someone actually tries to hold N'Golo Kante off, and you're just thinking, oh, don't, really, it's not worth it. It ain't going to happen. Lost the ball there, good position for Chelsea. Hazard's first touch, just about, this should be. Let's see what the quality's like.
Big men forward. Piazon in proximity as well, but surely this is Eden Hazard. Not back. Barkley! Really good block to deny Ross Barkley. What would have been a goal at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, great opportunity there, Darren. Good ball.
Memphis slightly isolated here. Fresh legs of ʟýᴏ tracking him. ʟýᴏ taken to the World Cup by Spain, the likes of Fabregas, Morata, Alonso, all missed out. Just looking at the stats for ʟýᴏ, by the way, Pat, the other day. He barely misses a game.
No, he doesn't.
And how vital that is for a manager to know you can call upon him week after week. Piazon. Hazard. Scampering around Eden Hazard.
Do you know, he doesn't look too bad, does he? You know, he's come on, sometimes Eden can look slightly sluggish at the start of the season. Really lively there, the first couple of things he's did.
Moved on by Terrier. Memphis, who's still going. Another double change on the way for Lyon. ʟýᴏ, the Dutch international defender, is to be introduced, and ʟýᴏ, central midfielder. They're both stripped and ready on the touchline.
Does look like a different Chelsea. I mean, it does look different. There's a different Chelsea team. There's 11 different players out there, but they've got a kind of a little bit more confidence about them, a real belief about them, a swagger about them there. And it's really, when you add, and the only players that are missing, when you think about it, it's Fabregas, question mark, really, Courtois, but that's a different story altogether. But there's a real swagger there, and so it should be if you're, you know, the player, particularly the World Cup players.
Traore, he did the hard part, then gave it away. Piazon doesn't get it back from Kante.
You do think sometimes people are spooked by Kante? Because they know
that's what that looked like.
Yeah, because that's an easy ball that you wouldn't have made a mess of before. But you see it's Kante, you try to do something different and weird and special, you know, so it can have that. Goalkeepers can often have that effect, you know, in players, because you get a one-on-one and it's a very, very famous goalkeeper. Forwards don't do their normal thing. And yeah, people are like that. And if you're French, you look at Kante, you know what he is, you know what he's done, you know he's so far the best player in his position in the planet that, of course, you're a wee bit spooked by him. I've come up with one idea as why Kante goes in and wins balls against two players who are like a foot and a half bigger than they're on their backside, and he's walking away with the ball. I think he lives in the future, and he understands what's going to happen. He's got one of those time turner things from Harry Potter.
I'm sure that was on the scouting report when
exactly.
He was first signed. Can see into the future.
He's got a couple of seconds into the future. He can kind of see what's going to happen, and so he just goes to the right place and puts his foot in the right place. Stunning.
I'm sure Maurizio Sarri's really going to appreciate him. over the course of the coming season with Chelsea. Alonso will get there. Oh, but given away by Alonso. Bertrand Traoré still on the pitch. Oh, he's done that well. Raphael Traoré. Kante wins it. Surprise, surprise. Barkley. Tidy work. Very tidy. Haven't seen too much of Giroud so far, but he makes that one stick.
It's amazing how easy he makes that look. And you see Tammy wasn't getting the balls in there, but he just links it there. Doesn't do anything difficult, comes 10 yards off, holds the ball, passes it, goes out wide, and suddenly Chelsea are 20 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards further up the field and comfortable. And there's the first touch from Mr. Green in the blue.
Yeah, they light it. Still with the danger of Green, very experienced goalkeeper. You see this more and more often. Veteran English goalkeepers being third choice. Helpful on the training ground as well for young goalkeepers, even if they aren't going to push them in terms of a place in the team.
I'll never fully understand it. You know, because as a footballer, you always want to play football. And there's so many of them out there that just don't play any football. They don't play any football at all. They train. And then there's no real reserve league, as, you know, such for them to play in either. So they spend their whole life training.
Bruno Genesio. Looking relaxed on the touchline. Hasn't always been the most popular figure with Lyon supporters, but there has been vast changes at the club in recent times. You can see Gary Cahill gesturing to Rudiger. Let's move the ball. Let's get it moving.
Rudiger gets great at that ball usually. No, that was a good enough ball there. I think Alonso shouldn't have stopped. But Rudiger's got. I mean, he was playing left as on the 3 last season a lot of time, and he was picking the ball up in that left centre back position, pinging it 70 yards to the right winger. And he was superb at it, absolutely superb at it. And he looks rather ungainly when he runs with the ball, but he's certainly got that pass in him a lot more than people give him credit for.
Traoré.
I would also suggest to you that Rudiger is also by some distance the fastest player on that field just now, by a long distance, and that's another thing that's not commonly spotted.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yep, it's not something that's not commonly spotted. He is stupidly quick.
Was in the Germany squad of the World Cup, did play. The Germany side that underwhelmed in Russia.
I was at the game against Mexico, and the Germany team didn't play well. I've got to say, the coach has walked away with that one untouched, and I am stunned by that. Joachim Löw, to be fair, he made such a mess of that first game, and after 3 minutes I can see immediately what is wrong. He wouldn't change it. He thought, no, we're Germany, we'll keep it the same. And it was an absolute mess. It was a shambles. And a coach on another team would have been pilloried for it. So, you know, the Germans didn't do well. But to be fair, I think their coach, who is fabulous, of course, we know that, we take that for granted, he didn't have a good one.
Yep. Has that World Cup in the bank to just buy you that bit more time, even after what was a very poor tournament.
I would say rightly so. I would say, yeah, and absolutely give him another chance to build it. But I think he knows he's made mistakes.
Giroud, Barkley, Chelsea get the free kick this time.
I tell you what, Alonso's a bit in the wars. He's been on the ground 3 times since he's come on this pitch. He's only won a few minutes.
Well, his role, a touch like Moses, he obviously can play left back and a back 4, but was loving that wing back position under Conte.
I mean, absolutely fabulous in that position, and his goal scoring, getting into good positions as well. He really adored it, and I think he'll be quite frustrated that he's back at left back now.
Hazard used to play in Ligue 1 with Lille, clips it in towards Giroud. Offside, I think, is the decision.
You have a look at Rudiger when he runs back. He's got a very unusual thing. It's something fans generally only see at games, that when other players, you know, a corner kick, you know, have to get back, they run quite quickly back. He doesn't. He sprints at full speed. whether there's danger or not.
Another change on the way for Lyon. ʟýᴏ preparing to come on. Here's Giroud. Raphael. No way past Alonso. So the final action for Bertrand Traoré on his return to Stamford Bridge. He's come close to scoring. He's had a couple of chances in this game and largely put in an impressive showing on his return.
I think he can be quite happy with that. Certainly did not embarrass himself, showed his pace a few times. And it was fairly dangerous throughout the game. I'd say fairly dangerous throughout the game. I don't think Chelsea fans were saying, can we get him back? But, you know, he's certainly looked good enough.
So Lyon getting through their substitutes now as the current France under-19 international plays as a centre forward. Is on. Broke into the first team really last year. Chance for someone to be a hero into the 5 minutes of the 90, last 5 minutes of it. Alonso. Jorginho. Piazon. Hazard. He is fresh enough to keep it in. Piazon on the overlap. Barkley. Oh, shut down by a group of Lyon players.
And it's maybe Ross's his final thing he needs to do about his game. And by the way, talking about pace.
Crowd almost laughed.
Are you believing in me?
I believe in that. Oh, free kick.
I don't think he's seen him coming there. I think Alonso, he's not had a good start, has he?
No.
You know, for injuries to Alonso. Every time he's been near the ball, he's ended up hurt. But I don't think he sees a player coming in behind him. I think he thinks he's just going to get the ball. He's making that precise point to the referee now.
Clipped out, but Raphael saw that coming. Yeah, Alonso didn't know he was there.
No idea. But that was quite funny, that Rudiger sprint. The first time we've seen it after was mentioning his pace. And he probably was half a yard behind, and by the end...
Yeah. I think we can call it a gallop.
And the funny thing is, that's nowhere near full pace for him. Not even close to full pace for him.
Rob Green now, maybe called into action. Memphis Depay, now off the pitch, has got a very mean free kick on him. Marcelo, the centre-back, scored 5 goals last season for Lyon. Looking to win it here. The travelling contingent from France are making some noise. Marcelo, it's not bad, but Rob Green never really looked trouble there.
He was all over it, no worries at all. I mean, to be honest, I'm sure Rob Green was thinking, I hope he doesn't get this on target, because with that, it's raining steadily for quite some time now. Use that ball low, skidding along the surface and get it on target. No goalkeeper's going to like that. No keeper at all. So even if you know the keeper's there and you go wide of the wall, ask him the question, because it might come off him.
Hazard.
Oh, leave it. I want him to leave that. You know, the ball's clipped in there. N'Golo Kante's down that right wing there. He's flying away. The referee's just got a little bit too lively with that one.
Interesting seeing Kante down that right midfield position again.
Well, it's intriguing, you're right. It's a good point, Rob. You know, it's the side of Kante's play. We know he's capable of getting forward. We know he's not necessarily capable of scoring a lot of goals, but, you know, he's getting into incredibly dangerous positions, and you know he's got the energy and the speed to keep on doing that. And he's got the match intelligence when Chelsea haven't got the ball. He'll get back in there in a defensive area.
Rob Green. This was Barkley, who does get caught. Second time for Barkley in the space of a few minutes, but Chelsea turn it over. Quality from Hazard. Kante breaking. He has the energy. Piazon should get there first. Doesn't quite break for Olivier Giroud. Chelsea needed a bit of luck.
Wasn't a great ball by Kante. He's far too far ahead of Piazon there. he'll know himself that again, it's another early season ball, a ball that he wouldn't necessarily play at any other point in the season there, and just the legs a little bit rusty.
Piazon, Mendy just waited and waited. He's done very well. ʟύktiop. Late drama, perhaps. They'll get a corner here, Leon, I think. I'm sure that came off a Chelsea player last. The referee doesn't agree.
Well, you and I think are completely in disagreement with the referee, Leon. Let's see, we'll see it from this angle. He's had the shot. You know what? Maybe not.
Yeah.
I was absolutely convinced that there was a touch from a Chelsea player, but maybe not there.
Well, there was no touch at all. I'm baffled.
I thought I heard it.
Yeah, so did I. 2 minutes of added time at the end of the 90 at Stamford Bridge. And if you're unfamiliar with the format of the International Champions Cup, if we do have a draw after 90, we go to penalties. As Chelsea know, they've won one shootout and lost one in this competition so far.
I mean, it's one of the great things about this competition. Teams learning how to play penalty shootouts, learning how to cope with that sort of pressure. Because you think about it, how often, as a professional player, do you actually get a shootout? And then the day it comes, it's a World Cup final or something like that. So it's a great chance to actually get. I think it's a great idea to play the penalty kicks in this competition.
Piazon. Jorginho. Rudiger.
Oh, good ball.
Barkley saw something that not many others did. Hazard. Oh, he's still going. Chelsea will get a corner right at the end of this game.
Have we spoken too soon? Last corner when Chelsea caught it in. Looked very dangerous indeed, and they've got it like ʟύκtiop in the back post there, attacking it. Giroud attacking it. Alonso attacking it. Rudiger. They've got to put a good ball in here if they're going to win this game late.
Alonso flicks it on onto ᴖᴜ
And sadly, it was not a good ball. Nowhere near enough pace, not enough height either, and didn't give those big centre-backs the chance to go and attack it.
Fought by Lopez, who was under a little bit of pressure. So we will go to penalties with the International Champions Cup. Eden Hazard liven things up a little bit out there. Chelsea giving some of their more senior players a run out, Pat.
Yeah, and it's